Hello, and welcome our fellow ABOs. In this video, we will get to know how to install eSpring auxiliary faucet. This installation uses a separate counter-mounted auxiliary tap. With the eSpring water purifier below the counter, this maximizes the usage of counter space, with no visible tubing. Before we start, a gentle reminder that an electrical outlet is needed to plug in the power adapter. Installing the tap. Firstly, remove the caps from both ends of the spout. Insert the spout into the main body. Unscrew to remove the wing nut while keeping the foam gasket against the tap body. If you need to drill a new hole, it must be between 32 mm and 38 mm in diameter, less than 140 mm from the sink basin. Holding the foam gasket in one hand, lower the auxiliary tap stem and tubes through the hole in the sink ledge or counter. With an assistant holding the tap in place, reach up from below the counter and slide the wing nut onto the threaded tap. Position the tap in the direction we want and tighten the wing nut to lock the tap in place. Now we need to connect the tub with eSpring, starting by removing the cover and the electronics underneath. Insert each tube end of the elbows that are supplied with the unit into the proper locations on the bracket. We will feel a certain amount of resistance before the tubes are fully pushed in. Ensure the tube is fully pushed into the end, where it meets the mark or the mark goes in. Insert the green and blue tubes attached to the tap into their proper locations on the elbows until they meet the mark or the mark goes in. Connecting the hose nipple. This is a hose nipple. What we need to do is unscrew the plastic plug from it and discard. Unscrew the nut as well and set it aside. Slide the nut from the hose nipple onto the red hose. Push the red hose over barb on the hose nipple. Slide the nut back to the hose nipple and tighten it with a wrench. Head to the plumber. Use a wrench to screw the hose nipple onto the isolation valve. Checking for leaks. Now that everything has been set up, we shall check if there is any leakage. Firstly, open the auxiliary tap. Then open the water supply isolation valve to start water flowing through the eSpring. The saturation of cartridge takes a short time and flow from the tap. Flush for 5 minutes to remove air pockets and carbon dust. This process might take 5 to 15 minutes to clear. Now turn off the auxiliary tap. Check for any signs of leakage of the hose nipple connections on the back of the unit, at the tube and elbow connection. Completing the installation. Plug in the power adapter into the electronics and place it back to where it belongs. Give the cord strain a push to relieve into notch on base. Make sure the tubes and elbows are in the notches on the back of the base. Store the tubing removal tool that is supplied with the unit for future usage, and place the cover back onto the base. Plug in the power adapter into the wall outlet. Wait for about 30 seconds for the monitor to signal. It comes with a beep sound. Open the auxiliary tap for the water to run through the eSpring. Look at the top of the eSpring. Make sure it is displaying a blue cup and the water drops are scrolling. If it isn't shown, please refer to the troubleshooting auditory warnings in the unit manual. This concludes the content of this video. Enjoy clean water for your home with eSpring.